So once your machine's set up, let's go ahead and begin threading. We're going to start with the 4-thread overlock because it's just a good general stitch. And so I'm going to follow this chart to make sure that all of my settings are where they need to be. I'm going to confirm first that I have my needles in overlock needles 1 and 2 position. I'll also make sure that my stitch length is set to a standard length between 2.5 and 4. Your stitch width should be between 6.5 and 7.5. Your stitch selector knob should be on the letter A. Your wave selector should be set to overlock. Now this little dash in each one of these boxes here means that we're not going to be using those boxes. We're not going to be using those features on the machine, and so it doesn't matter what it says. Here you'll pay attention to the fact that your upper looper selector will be in the up position. Your knife will be engaged or up, not locked. The knife cover, which is that table that was on the machine to begin with, that's there, and your subsidiary looper is out of the way. To begin, we're going to take our selector knob and move it from serging down to threading. This instruction is also written on the inside of your machine. To engage the threading ports, you're going to rotate your hand wheel towards you until they click and the machine won't turn anymore. These threading ports are what enable your thread to blow through. I'm going to begin with my lower looper thread. Take your thread and drape it right over the top of the thread guide that's right above it. Now I like to hold my thread like dental floss, and I'm going to snap it down here and bring it straight down. Now make sure that your presser foot lifter is up while you're threading this part of the machine. And you can bring your thread down so that you have a good 10 inches or so. I'm going to tuck it behind this little guide. And then I'm going to take a small amount of thread and put it in the L for the lower looper. And then I'll push on the extraordinary threading and my thread comes down here. That was easy. Now I'm going to thread my upper looper thread in kind of the same way. I'm going to come up here and over the upper looper guide, bring it straight down. I'm going to hold it like dental floss again, snap it in place. Bring it down here, once again about 10 inches. Take a small amount of thread and put it in the letter U for my upper looper. And then press on my extraordinary threading and it blows out over here. To continue on with threading, I'm going to take my right needle thread, or my overlock needle 2 thread, drape it up here over its guide wire. I'm going to hold it like dental floss, snap it in place, come down, and if you notice there's a dotted line here, I'm going to follow straight here, tuck my thread up here, up and over. I'm going to set my thread to the side because I'm going to use my needle threader in just a moment on both of the threads, and then take your overlock needle 1, bring it in place, snap it down, come straight down here. And this is going to go in the same place. Tuck it here, up and around and over, and down here for needle threading. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my left needle thread, I'm going to tuck it here behind this guide wire, and then I'm going to take my right needle thread and do the same. Now I'm ready to thread my needles. Your Ovation comes with a serger needle threader, which is very nice. You'll see that there's a little triangle here. There's one also down on the opposite side. I like to hold those so that they're north and south. And then I'm going to take my thread and I'm going to lay it across from east to west with a very gentle touch, and you're going to take it and place it towards the needle, and once it gets there it'll stop. You slide it down, it'll push the thread through. Now the part of this that makes it go through very easily is that there's a tiny thin wire. I'm going to show you here. Tiny thin wire here on the machine, on that needle threader, and if you look there's a little scoop in the top of it. And what that actually does is it helps hold the thread so that it can push it through the eye of the needle. So once again I'm holding it with the little triangle north and south, and I'm going to have the thread going across east to west. Place this very gently towards the needle. Slide it down, pushing ever so slightly. It's a gentle touch. Pull that thread. You can actually use the little little piece of plastic here on the back of it to pull your thread through. So once I have my needles threaded, I'm going to take my thread. I like to take it around the foot here, raise my presser foot, and slide those threads to the left. Then you can raise them up and cut them on that little thread cutter on the side of the machine. And you're threaded and ready to go.